was a disco queen. She came from New Orleans. Catfish was her name. Dancing was a claim to fame.
What's up, guys? So, give me a second here. We're here to talk about the announcement NASCAR made today. Finally, the world's worst kept secret. Yes, they are running the street course at Chicago next year. So I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it, and we're gonna watch a little bit of this video with Kyle Petty, Steve Letarte. They're gonna talk about the layout of the track and give us some of their thoughts. So before I give you my thoughts, let's check this out.
We're going to break down a lap around this street course. It will be 12 corners, as we said before, 2.2 miles. So let's see what the streets of Chicago will look like. Letarte and KP, break it down for me.
Well, it starts right here at KP. Double file restarts perhaps into this left-hander. You're going to have to concede at some point. Not a lot of runoff room. I think that's going to have to be single thread. But if you are on the outside, if you give you position over here to the right-hander.
Yeah, but look how blind this right-hander is, as you talked before. You're on the opposite side of the car. You've got to swing back and get yourself in position. If you're on the inside right there, that's a tough corner to make no matter what gear you're in.
This is a crew chief's dream, a kind of a long sweeping double right-hander. I believe I can give my driver a better car than someone else. That's an area that you can overtake. This is kind of up to the drivers. Back-to-back 90s, you're going to have to figure it out, and figure it out in a hurry, because KP, I think this is a major passing zone, heavy braking left-hand corner.
This is a braveness tester right here. How willing are you to push and push the issue going into this corner? You're on the left side. You know where you're at.
I already know a couple of the over-aggressive drivers that they're gonna push it here.
You know what you've got to do, but you're going to hang that guy out, and that guy's going to get hung out bad.
And then this is a big point of concern for the teams. How are you going to navigate from 4 lanes to 2 on those right-handers? I love it. It's the same for everyone. Now we just had a sweeping right-hander. Now we're going to sweeping left-hander. Thanks a lot. I have my car set up to turn right. Now we're going left. Back into a right-hander, really right-hand dominant as we see at most road courses.
Yeah, really right-hand dominant. But you look at this, there's a topo change. We're going up over a bridge. These things get a little light as you come down. You're braking hard here, you're hanging rights. Again, these blind corners are fascinating to me, and it's a blind right-hand corner. So I think the visuals of this racetrack are something like we've never seen before.
You know what it provides I saw in that last corner, though? If I'm to your bumper, I like my...
All right. Okay. All right, so honestly, I have more questions than I do definitive thoughts. What I mean by that is I honestly don't have super strong opinions on this. I have a couple, but overall I'm sort of in the middle. So I want to talk first about the most obvious stuff. One, yes. This is a gimmick, one of many that NASCAR has just continues to trot out. So I do think that because it's a gimmick, that I'm sure people are going to tune in, they're going to watch. There's that curiosity factor, and I'm going to admit, and it might surprise some of you guys, I am kind of looking, I wouldn't say forward to this, but I am curious. I will be paying a lot of attention to this when the race finally pops up. Just out of curiosity. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that there wasn't a small aspect of this that is actually something that's interesting to me. Interesting doesn't always mean like positive or negative. It's just I am curious. This is going to be the first time that we see actual stock cars racing on a street course in NASCAR. This is a real street. This is not a prepped racetrack that's dedicated for racing. This is a real street in the middle of a city, of a downtown area, an urban environment. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There is a part of me that is curious. And I'm not sure if that's a bad or a good thing, but I am curious, and I want to see what happens. So yeah, it is a gimmick, obviously. Now, everybody knew this thing was coming, so it's not like a big shock. It's wasn't a well kept secret, but it is taking the place of Mid Ohio. So there's positives and negatives to this. The positive to me is they didn't get rid of another oval track and sacrifice it to add another road course. I hate when they do that. They've added too many road courses, in my opinion. So at least we didn't watch another oval track get sacrificed for a gimmick. That being said, I'm gonna I gotta put a word in for all the people that are fans of Mid Ohio. Now, personally, I did not like the race at Mid Ohio. I thought it was boring, and I do think that we've seen better races at other road courses. So just judging it against other road courses, it was on the boring side for me. That being said, I have to be fair. Uh, in spite of how I feel about it, they draw big crowds, and it wasn't a one-time gimmick. Um, every race they've had there, including I think Xfinity, they've had good crowds, and I'm not sure NASCAR can afford to eliminate tracks where they. I mean, I read this somewhere else. I can't really confirm it. You guys can confirm this for me, but I heard there was more than 100,000 people there. So the people that show up to Mid Ohio, to me, those are more of a hardcore NASCAR or racing crowd. They're not there because of a gimmick or something. These people, to me, can be counted on to show up multiple times. So to me, sacrificing that road course for this is a mistake. And I think they could have easily picked a different road course. So even though I thought the race was boring, I don't really like the layout of that track. I'm not and I like I said, I've seen other people say it was boring too. So I would have kept it in spite of that. There's too many people that love that track and they actually show up. I don't think NASCAR can afford to do what they're doing. And there are big question marks here. So personally, I think they should have just got rid of Indy. That Indy road course has also been atrocious, boring racing. In fact, I saw a couple of I saw the Xfinity, I saw the Cup race, and I'm telling you, it was boring. The whole thing just doesn't work for me. I think NASCAR chose to keep that one because they want to be able to say, "Look, we're at Indy. It's not the fucking Brickyard." If you want Indy on the Cup schedule, then you should run the oval, the Brickyard, the famous part of the track. Nobody cares about the road course side of it. I shouldn't say that. I know some of you are gonna say you care. So let me backtrack on that. But when you think of the Brickyard, when you think of Indianapolis, you think of the oval, which is really more of a square. But you understand the point I'm trying to make. If you want that on the schedule because it's the Brickyard, then run the oval. If you want, I just think you keep Mid Ohio because there is a huge fan support. People who actually show up to the racetrack. You got to keep it. And I'm saying that as somebody who doesn't like that track and thought it was a boring race. But in all fairness to the people that actually support that track and actually show up, you can't ignore that. So that's a bad decision by NASCAR. Uh, so those are negatives right there. But on the positive side, At least they didn't eliminate another oval. So moving on from that, all right, let me take the sound down and give me a second. We're going to take a spin around at slow speed. Just as I talk, you guys could see what's going on. But um, this track in particular, the layout, there are some issues I have with it. Kyle Petty actually made a great point. It's narrow, and those right hand 90-degree turns, because it is a real street, right? So that's the part that interests me. This is very unique. It's an actual street. So there's a lot to like about this. The atmosphere, even though it's a gimmick, it's a cool gimmick. There is a part of me that I'm curious about this. But these right hand turns, because it's a real street, they're 90-degree turns. And Kyle Petty mentioned it. They're blind turns. They're very difficult to see. When you look at the car and where the driver's head is going to be, the height of these concrete barriers, it's pretty much at the line of sight for the driver. So you can't see what's around that. So when you're making that turn, it is a blind turn. And if somebody in front of you spins out, there's no runoff like other road courses where you go on the gravel or an area that's not part of the racing surface, where you can kind of, even if you lose a bunch of spots, you can gather the car up and get back on and continue racing. You spin out here, you're on the track. Everything here is track surface. And people come making that, you spin out on exit, you're going to get T-boned by a bunch of cars. The possibility for a massive pileup is very strong. And I don't like blind corners, So I got big questions about the safety of this thing. And like I said, you look at these are concrete barriers. They're not soft walls. And like I said, there's no runoff. There's nowhere for you to make a mistake. So I mean, can you really complete a race without somebody making a bonehead move or just overdriving a corner and causing a massive, dangerous pileup? I don't know, man. Also, when you have these super long straights, I'm not sure that's going to produce good racing. But I do like the fact that they're racing on a real city street with a real city. There is something cool about it. I can't deny that. And even here, you got, they mentioned turn one. You're gonna have guys 3, 4 wide here, and I mean, I don't know how that's gonna work out. We know that give and take is just almost a lost art now. Like it's a lost. I should say more of a driving etiquette is pretty much out the window. Everybody drives like every lap is the last lap. And look at this blind turn. Holy shit. Look at where the wall is. If somebody spun out over here, you got no chance. Right here, you see a big pileup. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? So these are questions I have. And I don't think NASCAR wants to have to answer questions on why somebody got seriously hurt or I don't know, man. And what's the condition of the street? I'm sure that they're not going to race on potholes or big cracks. And if there are, I'm sure that the city's going to make sure that anything that needs to be sealed or covered is fixed. They definitely are going to take care of it, but it's still not a prepped racetrack that's made for racing. So I am curious to see how these cars handle throughout the day. This is cool though, having you're in the middle of an urban city environment, but the turns are mostly sharp turns. There are two sweeping turns. But look at this, man. You got to get close to that wall if you want to make time. And then you're going to have guys pinching each other. Somebody has to lift. And then look at this super long straight. So yeah, I am curious to see how this turns out. And I do think that you are going to have a big, uh, the ratings are going to be good. And where are people going to sit? Are these seats over here? Yeah, it does. It looks like there's going to be seats. This is iRacing, so I don't know how accurate it's going to be in terms of everything that's outside the track. Uh, Hopefully they can sell a lot of tickets, but a lot of people. It's a gimmick, and it's going to be more of a curiosity thing. You can't judge gimmicks or things like this the first or second time. Is this something that can work 5 years down the road? That's the true test. And as we saw, Atlanta already had a horrible, embarrassing attendance for just the second Cup race at a brand new racetrack. So to me, that's a massive failure. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got to be an expensive endeavor to make this happen. Look at this, man. This is scary. This is very narrow. This is a very sharp turn here. And imagine three guys battling for a spot here. Who's going to lift? Who's going to back out? Look how close you got to get, man. Holy shit. Somebody's going to make a mistake. But this is cool. There is no other. I mean, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm curious. And here's the other sweeping left hand. Um, it's there are things to kind of like about the layout, but there are things to be concerned about. And as I said, there's no runoff. There's no safe area where you can make a mistake. Everything here is concrete walls, and everything within the wall is race surface. This might be a spot here where you can have a runoff, but where are you going to go? And it's a short runoff. Holy shit. There is no runoff. There's nowhere to make a mistake. Yeah, I mean, I'm fucking curious. So, I'm not really sure what to think. Look at this. Wow. Imagine a couple of cars spinning out right there. You don't have enough time to slow down. I mean, holy shit. But you got a cool elevation there. I mean, are they gonna, I guess if they bring rain tires, what if it rains? That might make things more interesting. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of road courses, as you guys know. That's no secret. But I'm trying to be fair. I got some questions. There's some positives to this. There's some negatives. And it is a gimmick at the end of the day, but who knows? And is it worth the expense? This is 2.2 miles, I think they said. And, is it that expensive really to put up these concrete barriers? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I do hope, I'm not rooting for this thing to fucking fail. I kind of, I don't know, man. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'm not gonna shit on this too much. It's something. It's different. So I'm curious about what you guys think of it. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with on what I've said? I think the most positive thing for me is thank God they didn't eliminate another oval track to add another road course. At least they eliminated another road course. But on the negative side, I have to I have to say that no matter how boring I thought Mid Ohio was, my opinion on that has to take a back seat to the fact that 100,000 people showed up, and it's not the first time. They continue to have massive crowds show up there. That's a proven market. This is not proven. Um, I'm not sure there is a big NASCAR market. Who knows? But you know, it's a big question. It's going to be answered. We're going to see. But like I said, even if the first race turns out to be like this big high rating thing, you can't judge it on one or two races. It's something where you got to see down the line. If they're still doing this 5 years from now, that's what I want to. That's how you measure success. When people keep coming, and the ratings, keep continue to be high. That's when you know you were successful. People always tune in for the first time because it's new. It's a curiosity thing, and people want to see what happens. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I look forward to your comments later.
She was a disco queen.